So welcome back, one and all. Very good evening to all of you. Those who are watching this video in the evening, a very good evening to them. Those who are watching this video in the morning, a very good morning to them. Those who are watching this video in the afternoon, a very good afternoon to them. And those who are watching this video at night, I won't say good night, but yeah, after we have completed this video, then I'll definitely say good night. So this is what it is. Welcome to our YouTube channel, datamahadev.com, Data Mahadev. We also have a website with the same name, known as datamahadev.com. Do visit this website, and what if you're more interested in reading rather than watching online tutorials, you can visit this website. This website is a must for all the data enthusiasts, people who want to learn, people who want to prepare for interviews, for the FANG companies, big four, big three companies, big tech companies like Microsoft, Uber, Ola, etc., etc. They can also read certain articles, tutorial-based articles on this website on Python, NLP, machine learning, deep learning, data science, AI analytics, etc. You'll find a plethora of articles related to the subject data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, analytics, etc. All right. So do follow this website. Follow and AI and data sciences religiously. So in the last video of ours, which was a Hindi version of our Python introduction, where we discussed about basically a data types in of Python, various data types of Python. We discussed about the uh, operators in Python, logical operators in Python, mathematical operators in Python. We discussed. So there were certain basics of Python that we should start with. And if you want to start your learning journey in Python, do look at that video, and you will be able to basically start your learning journey with Python. Start your learning journey of Python with that video only, Introduction to Python. There are two different videos of that, the very same tutorials, but two different versions of those tutorials, one in English, one in Hindi. All right. So let's launch Jupyter Notebook. Just go to search option in Windows or Mac, type Anaconda Navigator, click on the first link. This interface will open up, and just click on launch, and the terminal will open up, and after that it will open up in your default browser. In my case, Safari is my default browser, and in your case it might be Edge or Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. So this is what it is. All right, and let's open our YouTube channel. Yeah, just type Data Mahadev and subscribe. So over the past, we have grown quite significantly. We had 45 subscribers when we shot this video, Python Se Parichaya Introduction to Python Hindi version. This is the English version. All right. So when we shot this video gained good prominence and helped us gain a lot more subscribers, around 124 more subscribers. We are currently placed at 169 subscribers. Thanks to all of you for supporting us. Do support us, and so that we can helm out more such good tutorials, so they are helpful in your interviews and your preparation of learning journey of Python or AI/ML. So without wasting any further time, let's discuss data structures in Python. This video is about discussing data structures in Python. Now, why do I basically say data structures in Python, which we'll see it in a moment. But let me tell you, data structures in Python are very, very important. They are so important that be it big tech companies like FANG, Microsoft, Big Four, etc., etc., they ask a lot about basically lists, dictionary sets, and tuples. Basically, these are four different data structures of Python. In every interview, in every written test, one question of lists or dictionary, or one question, one to 4 to 5 questions, or 1 to 5 questions of data structures will definitely be asked in the interview, in the written test. I'm repeating this statement once again. At least 1 to 5 or 4 to 5 questions of Python data structures will definitely be asked, be it a written in test or be it an interview. So that is what it is. If it is a Python-based interview, Python-based machine learning interview, be prepared for this. So it is so important. All right. So this is what it is. So let's open up this notebook. So as you can see, four types of data structures in Python, which are lists, dictionary, sets, and tuples. In this lecture, in this video, we'll be discussing about lists. We'll be discussing about lists first. All right. And we'll be discussing about list, and we'll also discuss some functions of list. We'll also discuss some functions of list that are not important, but we'll discuss all the functions of list, be it important or not. And the functions that are important, we'll basically mention that yes, this function is important or this function is not important, like that. Basically, everything is important. So we should, to master a particular thing, we should, um learn and basically learn everything. So this is what it is. So list in Python. All right, let's begin. So A is what? A is my variable, equal to is my assignment operator, and this is what? This is a square bracket. So lists are always represented in square bracket. Let me write this down. Lists are represented in square brackets. All right, this is a square bracket. Now, to run this, I'll press Shift plus Enter. All right, to print this, I'll use the print statement, or I can just write A alone because it is, remember, it is a single statement in Python. So if we can just write the variable name, it will directly print it. If you have any doubt, watch our Introduction to Python English version. All right. So this is what it is. Just a second. Yeah, give me 1 minute. Yeah. So this is what it is. All right. Now I am saying that it is a list. You all are also agreeing that it is a list. All right. But let us see whether Python agrees it is a list or not. So what we'll do is that we'll use the typecast statement, which is type. All right. And write the variable in it. Press Shift plus Enter. It is showing it as list. Right. So this is what it is. Now this A equal to square brackets is basically what? It's an empty list. It's an empty list. Now this hash is what? I'm writing hash and then I'm writing some statement. These are comments in Python. They are what? They are non-readable code. They are what? They are comments in Python. They are your non-readable code. All right. So this is what it is. All right. Any doubts? What you all can basically type it in the chat box, and you will or type it in the comment box, and you will be able to, your doubts will be answered. All right. So this is what it is. All right. Just checking whether my AirPods Pro are connected or not. So this is what it is. All right. So moving further, so this is an empty list. This is how we declare a list. All right. Uh, a variable, an assignment operator followed by square brackets. Now, next, what we'll do, we'll take the same variable, square brackets, and now we'll try to do what? We'll fit in some elements inside it. 5, 2, 4, 7, 1. Fit some elements inside it, print this list, and check its type. It shows us what? It shows us as a list. This is what? This is a list. Python also calls it as a list. So this is what it is. All right. And if we use the print statement also, it will show the same thing. So this is what a list is, represented inside square brackets. It can also have a string as well. Let's say hello. It can also have a floating point as well. It can also have a Boolean value as well. So this is what it is. So as you can see, but when we check it, when we'll check its type, it will show us as what? It will show us as a list only. So anything, be it a string, be it an integer, be it in floating point number, be it a Boolean value, true or false, enclosed inside a square bracket will be termed as a list and not a string or a integer or a float, etc. It will be termed as a list. All right. So this is what it is. Let's print the updated list. So as you can see, so this is what it is. Now, this is what a list is. Next, what we'll do is that we will, any doubts, just to post it in the comment box and your doubts will be answered. Right. And now, moving on further. So we'll talk about the functions of list. All right. We'll quickly talk about the functions of list. So the first function, the very basic function of list is append. Now append does what? Append function of list basically does what? It adds one element to the last position of the list. To the last position of the list. This is the append function, which we'll shortly see how it is run. All right, so we'll take the variable a, which is our list name also, dot append, and inside it, inside this parenthesis, I will add a number, say 1000. I want to add 1000 to the last element, to the last position of the list, that is after true. All right, so what I'll do, I'll press shift plus enter. Now it has appended, it has added 1000 to the last position of the list, that is true. Now how we'll check that? Simply print our list. So as you can see, 1000 was not there in the previous cell. As you can see, the thousand was not there, but when I appended it and printed the updated list, it added 1000. So this is what append does. It adds only a single element, not multiple elements. It adds only a single element. So this is what it is, right? It can also add a floating number 1.5. It can all, sorry, dot came twice. So yeah, it can also add a floating point number. As you can see, it has added 1.5. It can also add a string as well. Let's say world. It can also add a string as well. But when we check its type, it will always show it as a list. All right. So this is what it is. All right. So these are the number of elements. Now we want to know how many number of elements are there in a list. What is the length of the list? How many? What is the count of number of elements of the list? So to use that, we use the len function, len statement or len command. Len in parenthesis followed by the list name, shift plus enter, and you can see the count is 11. There are total 11 elements inside this list A. We can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So there are 11 elements. How we can check that? With the help of the len function. All right. So this is what it. Now moving ahead further towards the pop function. Now what does the pop function of a list does? It removes the last element of the list. What pop function does is that it removes the last element of the list. So this is what it is. All right. Any doubts? Please post it in the comment box and ask. All right. A dot pop, and leave the parenthesis empty as it is. Leave the parenthesis empty as it is. It press shift plus enter. As you can see, it has popped. It has removed the last element, which is word. To check that, we can print the updated list. And as you can see that it has removed what? Pop. It has removed it has popped the element world. Earlier it was showing. Now if we check the length, it will show as 10. So this is what. Similarly, well, let us use it once again. It is again, now the last element is what? 1.5. It has popped 1.5. Let's check. And now let's check the length. Again, it is what showing is 9. Let us pop it out once again. It has popped 1000 as well. Let us check the length of the list. It is showing it as 8. So this is how the pop function of list works, right? Moving on towards the next function, which is the extend function. Now, append did what? Append added one element to the last position of the list. Only one element. It cannot add multiple elements. But the advantage of extend over append is that it can add multiple elements. Adds multiple elements starting from the last position of the list. Adds multiple elements starting from the last position of the list. So let's use a dot extend. Over here, we'll use what? We'll use parenthesis and followed by square brackets. Parenthesis and followed by square brackets and followed by adding up of multiple elements. They can be integer, they can be float, they can be strings, they can be boolean as well. So this is what it is. All right. So a dot extend, I've added these multiple elements. Now, why do we add square brackets inside the parentheses in the extend function? We do that because we are passing a list. We are passing a list inside the extend function. So that is why we use a square brackets inside the parenthesis. All right, let's press shift plus enter. Let's print the updated list. And as you can see, after true, it has added multiple elements. Which elements? The elements that we entered in the extend function inside the square brackets, 8, 11, 15, 21, and 25. So this is what it is, all right? So this is how, these are the basic functions of list: append, pop, extend. All right. Any doubts? Please do not forget to write it in the comment box. You can also reach me out to the LinkedIn. Just go to our about page. Go to our about page, and you can see our LinkedIn links. So this is what it is. All right. So moving further ahead, talking about certain other functions, remove, insert. We'll discuss four more functions and we'll basically stop this video, and basically we will discuss other functions in our next video. Don't forget to hop on to the next video of the list. All right. So this is what it is. So a dot remove. Now remove does what? Remove basically removes an element inside the list. Removes an element inside the list. Now we saw pop. Pop did what? Pop basically removed an element, but removed only the last element. What if we want to remove a middle element? Pop removed the last element, deleted the last one. What if we want to delete a middle element? So how will we do that? So for that, we use the remove function. Let me add one more statement. Removes an entered element. Whatever element we want to remove, we enter inside the remove function. For example, if I want to remove, let's say, hello. So what we'll do is that in single inverted quotes, we will write hello. Always remember the sentences, the words, the alphabets, they will always be represented in single inverted quotes or double inverted quotes in Python. Otherwise, they will give an error. Apart from true and false, every other word, every other alphabet, whether hello, hello world, any name, any alphabet, anything in English language, we have to represent it in single inverted quotes. So this is what it is. Let's press shift plus enter. Let's run this cell. Now let's print our updated list. So as you can see, hello has been vanished. Hello has been removed. So this is how we remove a middle element inside the list. Let's remove true as well. Write true, and let's basically run this updated the cell, which will print our updated list. As you can see, okay, so true, it hasn't removed. So always remember that uh, true won't be removed. Let us try in single inverted quotes. So it is giving an error that remove true is not present. So how will we remove true? How will we remove true? As you can see in our updated list, it has removed true. All right. So as you can see, true has been removed. So this is what it is. Let us basically do what? Let us add true once again. So how will we do that? We will do that with the help of insert function. We will do that with the help of insert function. Basically, we ran this once again and we saw that true has been removed. So this is what it is, all right. So this is what it is. Let's basically the where we added true. Let's run this. Let's run all these cells uh, and let us yeah, let us come back. So this is what it is. True is still there now. Let us check for why it is still there because I am printing it now once again. Let me print it. Always remember the order where our cell is getting printed is defined by this 64, 65, 66. As you can see, true value is present. Why? Because we went up and we ran that particular cell once again. Ran all the cells once again by pressing Shift plus Enter. All right. So let's press Shift plus Enter and let's press Shift plus Enter. As you can see, it is again showing true. Let's rerun it. So to remove true, you have to run remove multiple times, two times, then it will remove true. So this is what it is. This is how we remove basically Boolean Boolean values. Rest, let's before we discuss insert function, let us remove one more value, a dot remove. Inside we'll write 5.5. To add a particular cell, we need to just follow my cursor. We need to click on this cell, insert cell below, and our cell will be added. Now let us run the cell. The cell hasn't been run because it is showing an empty in the square brackets. It is showing as empty. Whenever it is filled with a number, let's say here it is 71. So in sequence, it will be filled with 72. So let's shift the center and let's print A, and as you can see 5.5 has been removed. So this is how we remove numbers strings in using the remove function just by entering the element. In case of Boolean operator, what we have to do, we have to run it twice, only then it will be removed. All right, let us check the length of A. It is showing it as 9. All right, you can count it as well. You can count this as well, it will show it as 9. So this is what it is. So moving further towards the next function, which is the insert function. So let us discuss insert in our next video. Let us talk about pop index. So basically, if we fill a value inside it, earlier what we used to do is that we used to basically just write pop and parenthesis. So what it used to do, it used to remove the last element of the list. But if we enter a particular value, then will it remove or not? So let's check. Removes the index position of the list. The element at the index position of the list. So for example, a.pop, and in parentheses, I say I want to remove 8. I want to remove 8 with the help of pop function. Now, if I leave it empty, it will remove the last element as we saw above. It will remove the last element, a.pop, it removed 1000. So this is what it is, right? Any doubts, please feel free to ask. Any doubts? Hello? Any doubts, please feel free to ask. Just give me a second. My net got disconnected. Yeah. My net got disconnected. Just a second. There was a power cut. Let us resume this topic. Yep. So, for example, I want to remove, let's say, 8 with the index position of the list. So, what I will do is that I will basically count the list. So, how do we count a list? In len, using the len statement, we used to count the list. पंखा बंद करो. In the len statement, we used to count the list. How did we count the list? Using numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, simple numbering. But in this, when we basically count the index position of the list, how do we count the index position of the list? When we have to use pop to remove, we count with the help of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is how the counting of a list goes. So we start from 0. So if we want to remove, let's say 5, we want to remove 5. So what we'll do is that we'll write 0 as the index position and press shift plus enter. As you can see, 5 has been removed. If we print the updated list, you'll see that 5 has been removed. It is now starting from 2. Now I want to remove, let's say 8. A dot pop. So what we'll do, we'll count. Now on the 0th position is 2. On the first position is 4. On the second position is 7. On the third position is 8. We'll write the third position and it will remove it. Print the updated list. And as you can see, 8 has been removed. Check the length of the list. 7. Type, just a second. Type A. So this is what it print the updated list using the print statement. So this is what it is. So that's all for this video. We'll be posting another video with the certain more functions of list, like the dot insert function, indexing of list, uh, clear function, copy function, the del command, sort function, reverse function, etc., etc. And after we have completed the list functions, we'll also talk about slicing and dicing of lists, very important topic asked a lot in the interviews, followed by list comprehension techniques. In the meanwhile, keep subscribing, keep learning, keep sharing. So that is what it is. Thanks a lot, everyone.